Hello, YouTube. Welcome on in. It's been a little bit. I have been away, but we are back. And we're back in Ace Attorney. And I'm going to try to remember recipe for turnabout. Trial day 2. I did leave myself a little note. There we go. Trial day 2. But try to remember what's going on, or else it's going to be a lot like the El Tigre trial, where I'm not going to be a very good lawyer. Then again, looking at some of my past cases in these games, that's already basically the case. That's already basically true. So we'll see how that goes. But please remember to drink some water, stay hydrated, eat some food, get some sleep when you can, and take care of yourself the best that you can. This is all what we can ask for. With that being said, let's remind myself where you go. I am indeed a floating orb. It is impressive. Don't let the judge know this floating orb didn't actually go to law school. The lack of opposable thumbs is an issue in and of itself, but we've made it work so far. What you don't know is that I also don't have telekinesis, so when I have to hold up any of the evidence, I hold it in my mouth. Like the conventional, stereotypical Japanese schoolgirl with toast in their mouth as they run out because they're late. Alrighty then. January 8th, 9:46 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think's gonna happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well. It ended on a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Cool. Oh, let's see what we got here. With this old man. We got this one, right? The CEO of Blue Screens. Viola Cadaverini. Bruto Cadaverini. Furio Tigre. Alright. Our evidence. The Tribune matches. $1 million bill. Right. Okay. Yes, I'm remembering. El Tigre probably killed the victim because he won, so he was going to just give him the $500,000, but he needed the $1 million, so he still wound up stealing the virus and using it. Yes. All right, back on track. Are you okay, Nick? Uh-huh. Yeah, of course. I haven't been in a coma for a week. It's fine. In-game character. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes. No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Determination, we're Undertale now. Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Hey, Belle.
Hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that.
How did you know she was stressed?
I was watching through the doorway.
Oh.
You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, Belle? Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not in a million years, Belle. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing.
Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. Is that the poison? Yeah.
of the small bottle that turned up in the Tribulation kitchen a couple of days ago.
Wow, look at all those little bottles. Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor. Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others. Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either. And it doesn't smell. It's cyanide.
We finally got the analysis back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it poison?
I'm afraid not, pal.
Ah, not cyanide.
It's medication.
Huh? Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently.
Oh. It's the dude's eardrops. For ears, you mean?
Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elk was using for his ruptured eardrum.
What's Glenn Elk's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? Covered in unidentified fingerprints, huh? Alright. What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? I wrote this game.
Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but...
That's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence.
Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it?
Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done. Or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. January 8th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ready and waiting, as always, Your Honor. Very good. We'll get underway at once. Yesterday, we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems.
Mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. The victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick?
Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Godot.
Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules.
Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles.
The old god wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. Today, I'll prove it.
Very well. Let the first witness take the stand.
Oh boy, here we go.
And you are?
Oh, bonjour, everyone. I am Jean Armstrong, the owner of the head chef of Le Très Bien restaurant Enchanté.
Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman?
Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am the pet and perky gentleman, no? On the day of the incident, you were in Trebien's kitchen. Isn't that right? With you, monsieur.
Huh?
Everything feels right. Huh. Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy?
Very well, your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened the day at Tribune.
Oui, volontiers. At Tribune. When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art deco that day. Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. A mirror, huh? A large mirror, huh? Yup. Perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. The cup, the earpiece, and the glasses. It would have seen everything in reverse, no? But mirror. That is kind of what I figured. That he was looking at it somehow reversed. Oui, un grand mirror, the most enormous mirror. I had a feeling something like that happened. And suddenly, the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it.
That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front.
What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Oh. What am I gonna do with this? What's this? And who are the 2 customers exactly? Mine, of course, the young man who died, and the other not-so-young man.
You're referring to yesterday's witness, I presume.
What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. Oh, we do have the matches. We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we? So I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today? You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur? Please, stay on topic. Now, why did you tell the court about this before? But I did, just a few moments ago.
Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decoteur?
No, Art Deco. It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design, walls, ceilings, carpets, and that kind of thing.
Oh, yes, of course, that's deco.
I was trying to achieve a more feminine look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of the decor. Like having a large mirror. But a mirror between the tables? How big of a mirror are we talking about here?
Something about 4 meters wide and about 2 meters high.
It's about 12 feet wide and 6 feet high-ish? See, 4 meters about 1 yard. Holy glass in a frame, that's huge.
I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually.
The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember.
No, but I decided not to go through with it in the end.
What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not? I think we can press harder. It's the only thing I have, really, right now. If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies.
But You didn't ask, Trite. You've only yourself to blame for such sloppy work.
What?
A mirror was delivered to Tribune the day before the incident.
Really?
As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. But as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end.
This just doesn't add up. If a mirror was delivered to Tribune, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. Also very true. This, we have the matches. That. Oh, we do still have Gumshoe's lunchbox in here. Radio flyer, MC Bomber, meet with the tiger. We found that one. Oh, hey, wait a second. Where's the mirror? Yeah, this is the crime scene. Where's the mirror? Okay.
Huh. You want to doubt someone? Try to look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough.
Mr. Ernest yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror.
We perhaps that is what the old man was looking at.
Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object.
Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, Trite. Even for you.
Huh?
Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it?
Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer?
Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, Trite?
I don't have a top knot.
That is correct. Lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument.
Bien, logic is one a day. The cup, the earpiece, you would have seen everything in reverse, no?
The cup, the earpiece. Hold on, where's that picture? Oh, you can't see the earpiece in this. Is there any other pictures that we have here? Oh, shoot. Well, that's a permanent buff. I had the wrong button. The permanent debuff there. Hit the wrong thing. Everything you would have seen. You would have seen everything in reverse?
Ooh.
Hey Nick, we should take a second and think about what old CD said in his testimony. How did he phrase it again? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens on his specs. No question, you can lock me if I'm wrong, it was his left ear, without a doubt. To see it in reverse on the mirror. Oh, Jesus. And I used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. Let's see. If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh? And that clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess, or does it? Huh. Kinda hard to believe everything's the fault of a mirror, but... I think old CD saw everything through a reflection? If he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony. It just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's gotta be something in that old man's testimony. We just gotta dig deeper. Alright, let me save here real quick before I... What happens? You got me a large mirror between the tables. Can I try to show this thing? I don't think this is the right path, but I'm gonna try it. But it does contradict the evidence. Ah. It does contradict the evidence, though. Can I present this? No. Okay, so that didn't work. The matches isn't it. Okay. So that's obviously not the one I need. I remember I was experimenting with some new Art Decos that day. And having a large mirror between the tables. Big of a mirror. Let me try pressing harder again. There's nothing about it in the testimony. Think about that. It was delivered. Doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. I feel like that's trying to tell me something. Okay. Alright, what do we have here? Job listings. A is what I meant to hit to check. Do we know where Kudo was sitting, though? Where was the mirror in this? Maybe that? Nope. Two customers. Okay, what else do we have? This, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. We have this, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. Look, I don't see the mirror here. I don't see the earpiece in there either, honestly. It was in his right. Don't know where it's trying to get me to go with this. Basically trying to prove that it wasn't in the restaurant. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, he had it over his left eye and his left eardrum was ruptured. Does he present as a... Do I actually present a person, maybe? Maybe. That is what the old man was looking at. The cup, the earpiece, and the glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no? Okay. This is what I think it is, right. Because he was wearing the earpiece in his... Yeah. He was wearing it. the coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? Boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. Was his left ear without a doubt. So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now if Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactamente. You see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so hard, no? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head?
Order. Mr. Wright is correct. The witness generally observed the victim reflected in a mirror, and we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye.
Yeah.
How bitter. Try it, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time.
Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different?
You don't understand the way the witness thinks.
How he thinks.
Do you remember this, I presume?
The I broke the vase sorry apology? Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony?
Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. L?
Merely it's the victim's eyepiece.
And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Allen's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear. Huh. Well, try it.
That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever. Was it? Oh, I really thought he was old seedy for a minute there. Kudo's good.
Enough. It's agreed that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie.
Well, that's not true.
So what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on. Tell the court. We're all ears.
Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant.
The mirror. Alright, where was this mirror?
Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably?
The mirror. What in the world?
The mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There's only one seat on which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
Well, that's not true. Well, we know the last part's not true.
I see no problem with the explanation we have just heard. The next to the victim, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror.
What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this.
Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again.
I hate that guy.
And you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror? Be quite sure about that.
Well, it did, of course.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please.
Well, we know there's one thing he touched.
Still dividing into halves. Let's save this. I don't know if I need to get anything, but I think I can maybe just... There's only one seat. Could have seen an image. And it was the table next to the victim.
Which also would have conveniently not been able to see if there was anyone else.
Where did you move the mirror? I'm just actually curious about this. Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police?
Oui, exactamente. I carried it out to the restaurant then.
You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself.
What can I say? I know how to pick things up, and so.
Kudo actually laughed at something.
Well, given the witnesses for Z, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong?
I look like the obliging type, no?
I did not touch anything else. Ah, are you serious? But it does contradict. Oh my gosh. Alright, hold on. Let's see what I can find. Ooh. Are you sure about that?
I touched nothing except la mirror.
Right, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match with the crime scene?
Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly.
Huh. Suffering from a case of heartburn, Trite? Oh, I've just disinfected and oiled with golden myrrh and frankincense.
A few drops to your coffee and voila. Enjoy.
Focus, Phoenix. Breathe. I need to ignore those two and just find some evidence. It's pretty strange, though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would have... But Maggie didn't, and neither did old Seedy. The only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Tribulations that day. Now I've just gotta prove it somehow. Ah. So we're still on the mirror. So run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct?
Oui.
Oui, really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way.
Look who's talking, Trite.
Huh?
You're obstructing my view, among other things.
But this is my seat in the courtroom.
Tribulations' charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Trite.
I tell you, monsieur, the mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant.
And where would that be?
Oh la la, look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer.
Sir Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once.
I tricked the older ones too. You know her answer. Shall I tease you too?
I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time.
I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume.
Bien, I will tell you, there was only one seat from which you could have seen. That was the seat at the table to the victim, next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting.
So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat?
My monsieur, it is obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you would understand. the victim would have been reflected in a mirror, like if you were sitting at the table next to him. You would see everything, no? So that's the seat old CD was sitting on. When the poisoning happened, the old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Does that seem kind of odd? After the tale occurred, it involved the mirror, so it was not in the way. Hold on. There's only one seat could have seen an image of the victim.
Is this the one where I say that's not true? Because maybe it's not, because there's also...
Now, where are the plans? Do we update the plans here? No. Nope. Is it this? Do I present it on this one, maybe? Nope. Okay. Okay. Where would that be? Just, yeah, this isn't anything. Just sitting. Look at the plans. That's kind of odd. Let me see. I did have to present a person, so let's see if there's another thing that I can do. Victim. Call the police. Okay, so let's see. Let's work through this. All right, so the logic is that what he actually saw were things on the right side reflected to make look on the left side. But if he saw the earpiece, it would have meant the earpiece was still in the left side. I don't think they're gonna get that specific, but right. If he saw the earpiece in the mirror, it would have meant the earpiece still would have had to have been in the left side. Because if... with how mirrors work, I think... I'm so confused. Well, I don't know. Ugh, mirrors are black magic. Left by the victim. Revenge. Written. Phony. Wait a sec. Okay, broke the vase at my seat. Was there a vase there? Victim's seat, okay. Died of potassium cyanide poisoning. Wait, the vase. That's what it is. The vase. Hold on. So. Okay. 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 It's the vase. The vase is wrong. Can I do this? Oh, this is like a multi-step process, so I don't know where it wants me to start. There we go. Okay. Your Honor, Mr. Kudo's words yesterday strongly contradict Mr. Armstrong's testimony.
This is the letter of apology that was written by Mr. Kudo, is it not?
I realize it looks useless, Your Honor, but this is still testimony.
Huh. I guess useless people are only really good at identifying useless things.
What relevance does this scrap of paper have to the trial, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Kudo's testimony is actually very relevant to the question at hand, Your Honor, because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Did I get it? This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor.
Crime photo.
Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist.
What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Should not exist. Huh. Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite.
Now then, if the press would please clarify its statement. What is this something that should not exist in this photo?
It's a vase. There's one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there's an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from.
Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie.
One did. Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene.
Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. Indeed.
By this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece and an ear in which he couldn't hear?
Indeed, indeed.
You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. You want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite.
Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
And this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw?
Answer this and I'll be much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you gonna be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? It's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? there was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. It's because Kudo didn't see it? Because he wasn't actually there?
Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Oh. That's an interesting point. The victim was also a phony? That can't be it, right? But maybe it is. Everything was set up. Oh, we can try it. This case is riddled with contradictions. There's one very simple answer that clears them all up.
And what is that?
The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events.
What?
Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenelg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elk. Oh, that's why everyone kept saying there was only one. Because it was Tigre dressed up as the victim. Obviously, unlike the victim, there's nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake.
Order the court. Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom.
Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
What did you say?
Trite. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glen Elk and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Real trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was, serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
It's hard to believe, but...
Right. This is where I was wondering, because in the little preview, this is the information that we, the player, know more of. You can see that it is Tigre that puts in the poison, not the serving girl. And this is not Viola. There's one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee.
Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there, who would have noticed what was happening. That's right, well in this. The restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics. Would have known about it, correct?
Oh yeah, he knew.
Oh la la, this is most difficult for me.
No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You're under oath after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. Dun dun dun.
Defense request for additional testimony is accepted. He'll accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day.
Oui.
Bum bum bum. In the restaurant. Some water real quick.
The victim, Monsieur L, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after this. There was no other customer.
Well, look how it's in the right here in this picture.
When he got word he won Lottoremo, El became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for his phony to do acting.
So we're clear there was no mirror in the restaurant after all.
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
You've just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I'll decide how to punish you later.
Oui.
For now, we'll hear a cross-examination, Mr. Wright, if you please.
Took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. The victim came to my restaurant alone. Was he alone at his table as well?
Maybe. I saw him from the kitchen.
But the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table.
Unfortunately for you, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite.
What kind of coffee has he been drinking? Not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya says that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. I'm not long after him. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
Oui, he comes often for my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime.
Said it was worth one sip, and nothing more.
So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant at the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. Maybe what time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? So we just save this real quick.
Safety save. Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe we were told by witness yesterday.
Crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir.
That perhaps jog your memory, witness.
The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So that was between 2 and 2:10, no?
Just after 2. Aha, there we go.
Thanks for the help in jogging my memory, monsieur.
I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? Every day will be added to the witness's testimony.
Oui, monsieur John. Everything I do it for you.
See bien. That's French, isn't it?
At least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. Not long after, just after 2 p.m. Okay. So there's a contradiction here. Some customers, when he got worried when the lottery became very excited. Except the drawing. Right? The drawing was at 1:30. Yeah, Monday's at 1:30. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong.
What? What do you mean?
At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket.
Oui, that must be the show Monsieur Elk was listening to.
Can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright.
I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct?
Oui, I'm sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time, because I had just finished serving a lunch menu.
You had just finished serving a lunch menu? To who?
To the point, Trite, if you have one.
That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life.
It's on the air at 1:30.
Now, supposedly the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time.
No.
This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, listening to radio, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. The victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were two Glenelgs in Tribulations that day. The real Glenelg, now dead, have been poisoned by the real killer. And the phony Glenelg, acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, if it wasn't the case, how would you explain the time discrepancy?
Quite a performance, Trite. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song.
What is this, Music Theory 101?
Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain, then, where the real Glen Elg is?
I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at the time the real Glenelg was already dead.
Certainly the obvious conclusion.
And he was in...
Like, Trite, that's exactly what I was hoping you would say.
What?
Now I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to?
The missing corpse?
According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. That customer was the phony Glenelg. And where did the killer hide the body of the real victim?
I mean, the kitchen.
Prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. Your theory is to stand up to examination by the court. Mr. Wright has been approved by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body?
Yes, Your Honor.
No conjecture, Trite.
No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden.
Evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead.
Well, Mr. Wright, Court will now hear the defendant's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Ella concealed?
Inside Tribien. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribien.
Interesting. Where could the body have been hidden inside the restaurant? Perhaps you appear to the court on these plans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed inside Tribien is... The body was hidden here.
I see.
Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location?
Bottle. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle?
No. I've never seen this ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me.
Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright?
Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribien.
What? But I only ever use the bottles from my aromatherapy oils.
But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication.
What kind of medication?
I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. L visited there's the word again. An otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day.
You can't be serious.
The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. L.
Ugh.
Glenn Ellig's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen?
What?
Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird, however. You were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back.
No.
Order. This is extraordinary development. Witness to do. Did you murder Mr. Glenn?
Never. I could not do such a horrible thing.
What is going on? Oh, he's going nuclear.
Mr. Glenn.
The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules.
Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now?
And I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear? My H-deficient friend.
Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me, por favor.
Por favor.
Yo hablo español. Mr. Armstrong and por favor is Spanish.
Why does the judge... Okay, the judge speaks Spanish. Okay, good to know. I was about to say, por favor is Spanish.
I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it?
No, absolutely no. I simply,
Let's hear it. You've got one shot, right, Gramps?
Witness, the court will permit you a chance to make one final statement.
Yes,
You lie under oath again. Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel.
Oui, it is clear.
What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
I must say, Godot's theme is pretty top tier. The confession.
It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason I could not refuse. But I did not kill him, I swear it. You must believe me.
Forced by who?
I cannot say, or I will be arrested.
Let's try a different question then. When Mr. L died, was he really the only person at the table?
There was...
Dun dun dun.
There was another man.
I knew it. Now he was telling the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright.
Just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and tell him... Get him to tell us the name of the real killer. Alright. Save because we made it a step further. Did you carry the body by yourself?
Oui, I carried him and I carried Maggie too.
Maggie too.
When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted.
Yep.
I could not leave her there.
Why didn't you hide the bodies?
Man forced me to do it. What man? Who was he?
No, I cannot say. I fear for my life.
Really scared. Just had to put the words in his mouth, Nick. Yeah, you're right. Won't tell me, I'll tell him.
Why would you go along with this man?
Because it was a reason I could not refuse.
And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong?
You know, monsieur.
Yes. Yes?
Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment.
A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that. A bit too male. He can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. We'll just have to prove it with evidence. Alright. There we go. You have a $500,000 debt, don't you?
$500,000? That's true, Mr. Armstrong.
Oui, je suis de so. I was weak and I borrowed the money.
And this is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you.
Oui, it is as you say.
Mr. Armstrong.
The tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. on the day in question, he was beating the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen.
I think we can now safely say the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well?
No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable.
Hello. Now, someone as Furio Tigre is a witness. Now, that can be arranged today, so we'll adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow.
Oh.
30 minutes.
What?
The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more.
How the...
Don't sit back and relax yet, Trent. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. The trial could still go either way.
Very well, your request is granted, Mr. Gano. I'll resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take this stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess.
Alright. The first part of the trial.
Let's save.
Alright. Alright. January 8th, 1:21 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 1. So we're finally gonna see the tiger on the stand? We've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. Godot picked up on it, remember? Yeah. He pointed out that without proof, we won't know if what he testified is the truth. Yeah. You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know. But if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. The feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need.
Hey, pal.
Detective Gumshoe? What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end.
Hey, that butt's calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot.
It's not a top knot.
Never mind about...
Never mind about the hair, just calm down, alright?
I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up.
No kidding.
You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything.
Well,
I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. Gonna get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour.
an hour. The trial will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, you're already really stuck. Said you get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour?
You bet.
In that case, do you mind checking the prints on this for me? You're going back to the station anyway. Did you find out whose prints are on this?
Oh, hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right?
Yeah, I think it's time we solve the mystery of who the prints on it belonged to. Good think, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me, too. Alright. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. It's pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. Yep. 1:56 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Court will now reconvene.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre?
I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem.
Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on.
He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites.
Very well, please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. We'll let us stitch her in.
Don't hide under the table, Maya. Unless there's room down there for me, too.
What'd you say to me?
Nothing, I didn't say nothing, honest.
Would have guessed that fear would induce a Brooklyn accent in the judge. I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the judge. It's Your Honor.
Oh dear, I seem to have got my pen. Where are this is? Never mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal.
That's it, we're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said who the hell was it that called me in here?
There's no need to shout. We can all hear you.
What you say?
There's no point struggling. We're caught in a snare. A relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in.
Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick.
Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct?
Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy.
You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird?
Maggie who? I got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas.
Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Huh.
Phoenix Wright. You's the one who set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying?
Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today.
Get a grip, Nick. The tiger's alibi. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. If you want to check my alibi, just ask Violetta.
Oh, at last I found my pen. Right, well then, Mr. Actor, cross-examination. What is it? Please witness if you could refrain from shouting at Alexander.
I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000. And you're just gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. I don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger.
I love a good spectator sport.
Just a minute, that's really not.
This witness is, how can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side, and he'll bite everyone's heads off, yours too.
Very well, I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here.
You better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus.
I will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony.
Oh, great.
Not in mind as you mean your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick! Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Alright, I gotta think through this a little bit more. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year, spent all my time in my office. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You say these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Talking about Viola Cadaverini? She writes everything in my scheduler. December mainly in office. That's what it says, so that's where I was.
Seems like a rather sketchy schedule.
There he goes again. The tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Press harder. Mr. Tigre, what's yous want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail.
The dead end right, and you know it. Remember the rules.
No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately.
I agree.
The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before.
I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Glover, if you would please,
Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add the last statement to your testimony.
Let an animal beat you, be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. I was in the office too, I never saw that kid before. Save here real quick. Really? It's very interesting considering we have a schedule here where he says meeting with the tiger. Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glen Elk, but it appears that Mr. Elk knew you. What? Mr. Elk left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger, and the date, December 3rd.
December 3rd? That's the day of the murder.
So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glen Elk. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him.
Not bad, you's actually not bad.
Sorry?
I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I could do without. Unless he's lying through his teeth.
Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated.
You calling me a liar? Is that what you're doing?
Oh.
Sure did a Scooby-Doo there.
So you're saying that you claim to have never seen that king before is the truth?
Said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth.
Huh. And I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify to the court again, Mr. Tigre.
Yes, would you mind indulging the court witness?
Never actually met the victim? It's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. The victim, Glenn Elg.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn Elk. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. Set up a meeting with the guy in my office, tender lender. Waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. I ain't ever been to the Tribulations joint you's here.
Oh, well, that's the lie there.
That all seems perfectly logical. You arranged to meet with the victim when he didn't show up.
I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead.
Very well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I gotta make my bus now. I have to take the express train. That bill's gonna straight to you, right?
Okay. Let me save this real quick. I think it's the last statement. Never been to Tribulations. Yeah. Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What you's talking about?
We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. You've really never been to Tribulations before. What was the book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You've been snooping around in my stuff now, too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me.
Order, order, well witness. It's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me.
I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day.
What?
Well, listen good, alright. I might have been there, but I still never met that kid.
Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony.
This close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenn Elk that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. At Tribulations. We're so close.
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. Guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I had the cops' sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office.
Okay. What time, though?
So you didn't actually meet with him in the end, did? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions.
Huh. No problem. Anytime Tri presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Galore, that's my job.
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it.
Yes, sir.
Special Express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know, since you's paying. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Alright, let's save here again. Okay. I'm supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. What time is what we need to know. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table stiff as concrete. I figured the plate wasn't all of it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop's siren on my way out. So I need to know what time in the afternoon he was going to meet him. I mean, this is technically also a slightly contradiction because you can't see that from the door. So I do wonder if that's what is important. Let me save here. Because you can't actually see anything where the victim was from the door. So that is a lie. That is a contradiction. That is a contradiction. You can't see anything from the door. Yeah. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Trite? New line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. Indeed. Yeah. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area of something like this.
The only witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat.
Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that's not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition.
Oh, that's true.
Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him.
Wrong. They've forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday. The victim was alone at his table.
But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenelg, but a fake.
What?
In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. Yep.
That'll do. Trial's gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? Say the killer murdered Glenelg, and then impersonated this victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright revealed the identity of this criminal to the court.
Obviously. The killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it.
Alright. The other witness.
Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dares you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts.
You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's a defense. I'll go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright?
Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts, I'll give you that.
Mr. Wright, Do not leave me to handle this alone.
Perhaps I can end this embarrassment.
Mr. Kudo.
Let's just go back over Mr. Kuno's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim.
Serving girl brought him a Javachino. She put something in it. No question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there.
It's the victim he saw, the real victim or not. That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee.
Oh yes, it's the waitress who poisoned the coffee.
Very impressive, Mr. Godot.
Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Huh. Found your pen at last, trite?
It was in my pocket. Anyway,
Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind.
Finish your point, Mr. Wright.
I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show.
What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well?
The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her.
What on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed?
Violetta. Or Viola, I should say.
Who is this woman?
Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender.
He's making a big mistake. You know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean.
stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, had stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had kind of a cackling laugh. Dum 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 dum. There are just too many contradictions in this case. And the second man at the victim's table who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when the eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Dun dun dun.
Witness, what do you got to say?
That's cute.
Sorry.
You's alright. I could deal with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You've got it all wrapped up nice, huh, right? But you've missed out on one real important thing. But that can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you hear?
What? You really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre?
Huh. I'm a troublemaker.
Troublemaker?
Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony.
Indeed, Bernice will explain herself to the court. Give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim?
Ties to the victim. Yeah, I loaned Ellen cash about $100,000. That day he was due to have a little chat. Get it at his payback date, see? So anyways, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. Got lucky, you know, real lucky. That waitress hadn't done what she'd done. Everything would have been over.
But it wouldn't have been over. That's not true.
I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elliot was $50,000.
Yeah, well, he's got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know.
It's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal.
The repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question.
Yeah, there was one lucky kid. Got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid.
But you did have a reason to kill the kid.
And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. It's motive,
He has to have one, but what is it? But he does have a motive. Normally, the $500,000 would. But it wasn't enough. Not for you. $100,000. This dude have a little chat. Tells me he's not got a way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Lucky. Okay. That's not necessarily true. So where is the actual contradiction? It could be in the thing to pay up, because we know that's not actually true. He did have a way to pay up. Let me present something here. This is probably wrong. Yeah, it's not right. Okay. Okay. So I think then it's trying to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. This I think is where things are wrong. He did have a way to pay up. Oh no. Okay, so I must have to press him on something. Let me try pressing on this. How much did he have left on his debt?
wanted in round figures about $100,000. That's the whole amount.
I'm talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet.
What he's telling me is he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee?
Certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. L.
That guy was smooth, I tell yous. Real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes, that's what he says to me. Guy then calls me the tender tiger. Who's skating on thin ice with me.
Interesting, okay. Can I see, hold on. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, could that be the piece of evidence? Let me see if I can press the last thing.
The waitress, you mean? Girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with.
I should push a little on this. Let's just do this.
What do you mean things would have been over and done with? Are yous all there, what? I'm talking about the cash. It was there. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way.
As far as I can tell from the witness testimony, recouping his loan Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. As you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said.
Tiger's motive, huh? It's after I didn't have no other reason to kill. There we go. This is what I needed. There we go. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Ag owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, $100,000 wasn't enough to cover it, was it? Huh? About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? The accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. Where'd you get all that info? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year and was paid in full.
$1 million? Preposterous sum.
Someone should sue these HMOs. Hey Judge, quick question. What are your feelings on Luigi? Might need to get an acquittal here.
Huh. No one would pay a bill like that. The medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue.
But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it.
Order. So his life depended on it, Mr. Wright.
Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini.
Did you say Cadaverini?
Bruno Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini.
Bruh.
Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? Makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elg's life to pay your debt.
Order. I say to that witness.
It's a nice little fairy tale, trite. But even if the witness did need $1 million, it doesn't tie him to Mr. Elg's murder. Mr. Elg only owed him $100,000 and had no hope of repaying it anyway.
Yeah, that guy wasn't worth my spit. I don't think so. In fact, the opposite is true.
The opposite?
Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial.
What?
You know where you're going with this, Nick? I do. You gotta think outside the box, Maya. Outside the box? It's very straightforward. Mr. Tigre wasn't after the $100,000 at all.
If you're allowed to a conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright, you gotta share it with us. Exactly what Mr. Tigre after.
MC Bomber. Glenn Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. And that skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money.
Care to explain how skill can be used as collateral to secure a loan, trite?
He had the skill to create a computer virus, and so he did. A virus known as MC Bomber.
A computer virus? What do those do?
computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer.
Computer? What does one of those do?
I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that's from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would have been worth several $1 million on the black market. Mr. Tigre, you couldn't have cared less about the $100,000, isn't that right? All you cared about was one thing, the virus. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on the CD. Glen Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means.
That's crazy.
He murdered Glen Elg and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Like I said, Tripe, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef would have been kept in the dark about it.
He wasn't. Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan.
Order! Silence over there!
Who's put on a good show, Spiky? If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You're saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that.
I agree.
You do?
Despite your appearance, you're very careful. And that's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out.
Or another one, Mr. Wright.
Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite?
Not exactly sure where Phoenix is going with this. Oh boy.
What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused?
Well, I mean, there's this. Which one do you think it is? Oh, Jesus.
And what's the relevance of that, Trite?
It's just a little intro. Okay. Let's load that back. Okay, so I think it is the...
What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation.
Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me.
What? That's...
The truth.
But... Witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Right. Hello? Now that I think about it... It was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you standing in here this very court a mere month ago. And it's ready to put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I'd ever see.
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him?
Hey. Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh?
Have you no pride, sir?
This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Tribes, here in court we deal with people's lives.
You're always right.
Your Honor.
Speaking for myself, I'm absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, presiding over this court is the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone like your decision cannot be swayed by memory without evidence to support it.
No!
If there's no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. Circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far.
You say he impersonated Glen Elk. Say he impersonated you. None of that adds up to a murder charge. Don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee.
Ha! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get mauled, you've got that.
All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. We're so close to getting to him to admit his own guilt.
Huh. Looks like I won't be needing a refill.
Just one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook.
As witness's cross-examination over, you're free to go, Mr. Tigre.
Come on. Come on. Gumshoe, let's go!
Your Honor, sir. Wait!
Detective.
Detective Gumshoe.
Sorry I took so long, Bella. Hey, staked everything on this, my badge, the works. Where it is. Mark's counting on this, too.
What is it, Detective?
Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence.
What?
We'll recess.
Sorry it took this so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab.
Results?
Got the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle.
Oh, so you do know who this prince belonged to now?
You think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
So tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet. Clear as crystal all over the bottle. They're Furio Tigre's paw prints, all right.
That's great, we've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Shumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look,
I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on the bottle now.
Huh? Why not?
What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenelg's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now.
I knew it. Great, no matter how hard I try. Never of any use.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This was our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something for me?
Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. I'm a detective. You're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. Gotta get out of here.
Detective Gumshoe, wait! It's gone. Is there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. Like there was some way I could use it. Wonder what it needs to happen. Hello. Lily, welcome on in. We're just going through this. We're close to the end of at least I think I'm close. This stream's going well. I think like I said, I think we're wrapping up this turnabout, recipe for turnabout, this case. We're kind of in a position where we need to prove something, and it doesn't seem like we have the evidence that we need.
Right.
Yes, Your Honor?
We're gonna do a recess so you can prepare this decisive evidence you discovered.
Well, I'm just gonna save it. Well, let's just save over this data.
Yeah. Hope you've been doing well. Hope you're having a good day or good night, wherever it is you may be. Yes.
Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we?
Do I play any other games besides this? It depends. So I do largely play kind of narrative adventure games similar to this. Like I played some of the Famicom Detective series. I played other kind of like mystery games like Return of the Obra Dinn. But then also sometimes I'll play things like Clair Obscur. I'm working on a playthrough of that, and Monster Hunter Wilds. Can't wait for that title update 2 to launch. I'll probably do a stream or so of that, checking out the new content in that game. So it kind of depends. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. You lawyers should know how to blow things out of proportion.
No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it'll speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright.
I know I can't prove anything new. Well, thank you
Disapproving of my taste in games. No, I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. Maybe if he thinks he's got me beat. Let's do another safety save real quick through some of this dialogue. He'll let his guard down a bit.
Keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright.
Okay. What? Final decisive piece of evidence to the court. I think we just have to show it. Oh, wait, where is it? That's kind of what we need. I don't know if this is the right answer, but I guess we have to try. I appreciate it, but I'm pretty small time, so I'm not necessarily looking for anything right at this moment. Yeah. I appreciate that. But also, yeah, I don't necessarily need anything right at this moment. And, if you have a portfolio, I presume you have a link that's publicly available. In like a website. I don't think you need my Discord username for that. Your Honor, naturally the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. One second. I don't really need your Discord. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think that's really necessary at this point in time. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre.
What? Mr. Wright, conclusion are you want me to draw from this new information?
Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark.
My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle. Is that what you saying? What the hell's in it anyway?
Phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Sure. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains potassium cyanide. This bottle contains potassium cyanide.
Potassium cyanide?
The poison used to murder Mr. Elgroner. The victim's killer used this very bottle. Dun dun dun. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? Well, how do you explain that?
You make a good clown, you know that?
What?
Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. Yous just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger?
A bluff?
I can see straight through you, Phoenix, right? That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it.
No, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison.
Don't mess with a tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds.
Wait, how do you know, though? How do you know that's not the bottle with the poison in it?
The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it.
Oh, why, thank you very much. Godot realizes it. The judge realizes it. Does the courtroom realize what he just said? Why does he know what the poison bottle looks like? Got him. At last.
What? Why's everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle.
Is this the bottle you're referring to?
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. Yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor, tell that guy where to go.
You still haven't figured it out. Do you realize what you just said?
What I said? What did I just say?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. Just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
Yous don't know who yous messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me?
Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Oh boy. Okay. Is he okay? No?
What's going on? It looks like a blackout.
Oh my gosh.
Well done, Trite.
I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey.
Right. Caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go.
In case anyone didn't know, that nursery rhyme, tiger was not the word originally used in that nursery rhyme. And it dates back a really, really long time. That's all I'm gonna say.
Then how are things going with Mr. Tigre, Mr. Godot?
He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elk, Your Honor.
Fortunately for us, managed to rectify very grave error. Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney.
Yes, she was.
And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake.
Indeed. Very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal.
A truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there.
Godot?
Well, I'm now in a position to deliver my verdict. The court finds the defendant Maggie Bird not guilty.
Let's go!
That is all. The court is adjourned.
(4:10 p.m.) Alright.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him.
Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger.
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
Detective Gumshoe. Wait.
Detective Gumshoe?
Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you were innocent all along.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Oh? Well, I was, well, I guess I'll be heading off then. See you around.
Wait up, detective. Just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. It wasn't even of any use. But simply because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear she needs it. Maggie, you know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you. Through all of this.
I want to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
He touted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it.
Gotta prove her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know, I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom.
That's...
A present from Detective Gumshoe made with a ton of love.
He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies. You know?
Hmm?
Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
Is it okay if I eat this now?
Yeah. Oh.
So how is it, Maggie? It's really good.
In the case of phony versus real, the false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Episode 3, Recipe for Turnabout, the end. Ooh, Turnabout Beginnings. Interesting. Edgeworth is back. Alright, let's save here. Episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings. Oh, well, we're starting with a trial right away. Interesting. Okay. But that is where we will end it for tonight. Kind of just an easy one to get back in, kind of do some stuff. We probably could jump right in, but we'll see. We'll either start the next one or we'll actually go and play do a playthrough of Duck Detective when we on Wednesday when it's back. But we'll see. We'll see if we do this or we'll see if we do Duck Detective. I'll figure that part out. But indeed, thank you for tuning in, whether on Twitch live or whether on the VOD on YouTube. I appreciate you for watching. I hope that you are having a good day or good evening wherever it is in the world that you may be. And please have a good night. Take care of yourself the best that you can. Remember to drink water, eat some food, get some rest. It's all that we can ask for. So with that all being said, good night and bye-bye. See you on Wednesday. Bye.